Welcome to Talking Bitch, a new podcast where the rage is real, the opinions are loud, and absolutely nobody is safe from the group chat energy. We're talking games, culture, and whatever chaos happens online. I'm Austin, one half of your host for this show, and allow me to introduce you, last but not least, the second and first in command, Kwon.
How's it going, everybody? Let me just pop my daily pills and we can get started.
Today, we will be talking about live service games. Where do these players and their money go after a live service game gets shut down? But first, we're going to start off with a little bit of a blind ranking here. Drake, I have a list for you. Are you ready?
Fucking hell, let's go.
All right, it's only 6 games long. Blind rank these games. We have first and foremost Fortnite.
Fucking bottom of the barrel. I don't care what you said. That thing goes on the bottom.
Okay, put it at a solid number 3.
6, motherfucker.
World of Warcraft.
Oh, man. 1. I hate it.
Final Fantasy 14.
Fuck you!
I didn't think
Fuck you!
I didn't think you were putting World of Warcraft at 1.
Well, I mean, the significance of World of Warcraft in the actual gaming world and development and what it has done. Yeah. Whether it's both good or bad, WoW has so much influence and impact on the gaming world. So yes, it's number 1. And I say, oh man, Final Fantasy 14, legitimately number 2. And I will give an example, reason why as well. You want me to give a reason right now?
Nah, save your reasons for a second here.
Alright.
We got to make up time, man.
True.
Destiny 1 and 2. I'm just combining them.
That would have been 6 if it wasn't for Fortnite. So that will be 5.
League of Legends.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! I had such a love-hate relationship with that fucking game. Oh, I'm not now scared. What's the last one? League? Fuck. I have what 3 and 4.
You have 3 and 4 left.
Yeah, that's gonna be 3.
And you just automatically put at number 4 No Man's Sky.
Oh. You know what? Yeah, that's acceptable.
I do think you put together a pretty good list here.
Surprisingly well, yeah.
I definitely would have switched Destiny and Fortnite personally, but that's also because I know the list.
I mean, yeah, you know the list, and I didn't. And you started with the shitties of them all, so yeah.
So you got number 1, World of Warcraft. You explained your reasoning. Number 2, you explained your reasoning for Fortnite. Number 3, League of Legends. Number 4,
number
No
2
Man's
was
Sky.
not Fortnite. Number 6 was Fortnite. You can go fuck yourself. Try to manipulate my.
Number 2, Final Fantasy 14. Number 3, League of Legends. Number 4, No Man's Sky. Number 5, Destiny. I'm just putting Destiny franchise. And then number 6, Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean number 1. Wow, it's easy. Like, it's the biggest MMO of all time. It was like culture itself at some point. From Burning Crusade to Wrath of Lich King. I don't know if you're around that time. The fucking celebrities were doing commercials on TV.
Wrath of Lich King, I think. No, Burning Crusade, I think was the first one I ever played. I used to play it with a friend a friend that I grew up with. I never enjoyed the game, but he was definitely part of a family that like they played together. Between 4 of them, they all had their own accounts. Like, you're not kidding when you say like this. World of Warcraft truthfully was culture at this point. It was bigger than anything else in the world at that time.
The way WoW changed the gaming, it's incredible. Like MMO up to that point was something very niche. It's very difficult to play, a lot of time consuming. Well, when the WoW came out, at the time this was considered as a casual MMO. Now we look at it, it was like, oh wow, vanilla is still, like a lot of time consuming. But at the time, this was considered a casual game because you didn't have any penalty for dying. You can level up pretty fast just doing quests. You have a lot of easy to access contents like a dungeons and raids. You know, and you had like a meeting stone that you can summon other people's. It was at
It
the time ahead of time.
it really was like a culture building game because like I don't think any of these other games exist without World of Warcraft, personally.
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, it also is the reason why we're in such a shithole with the microtransactions. I mean, yes, Horse Armor started all, but WoW was the first MMO. Well, I will not say first MMO, but when the $15 mount dropped, fucking hell, I got pissed because we all had to work for our mounts, and all of a sudden, hey, by the way, you can pay real money and get this mount in the game,
I mean,
and
that really
everybody
was
glared.
I think that was the natural evolution, sadly, of like capitalism in live service games.
What pisses me off the most is that fucking mount, Celestial Horse, made more money than entire StarCraft franchise in a month. You're all the part of the problem. You're a fucking part of the problem with this shit. I wanted my StarCraft MMO. I wanted StarCraft Ghost as well. You all fucked it up for me. Everybody who bought that fucking mount. The
Well,
reason
that
why
was
Kevin is still paying 6 months subscription and not play the fucking game because he can get a mount.
just people taking random shots in this. Okay. That'll actually lead us into our actual topic of the day, which is live service games. I know specifically you wanted to speak about Destiny 2 shutting down.
Oh yeah,
And
which is
one of the reasons it's shutting down is so Bungie can focus all of their production on Marathon. And we'll see where that game actually goes. There's been a lot of positive reviews, but I feel like a lot of that's just influenced because Bungie's giving away free copies of the game.
look, we know at the at some point live service games comes to an end. But in the case of a Destiny 2, the devs did not know it was shutting down when they announced this was gonna be the last expansion. Are you shitting me, sir? Oh, man, I mean, the Destiny always had this reputation of being a shitty game that constantly takes away contents because they would delete old contents out of the game. The contents you guys pay for, by the way. So yeah, it's kind of not surprising, but at the same time surprising, that this is happening to Destiny. Because there's still, Destiny is still pretty big fucking game. It still has a lot of people paying for its contents and microtransactions and all this stuff. You have to pay for every expansions and then lose, access to those expansions that you pay for because fucking Bungie is Bungie. But the fact that the way they announced the shutting down does not sit well with me. This is like Anthem all over again. The publisher announcing things without speaking with devs first. Anthem, especially, they didn't even know their game was gonna be called Anthem when EA announced or showed the trailer, and they say, "Oh yeah, this is called Anthem," and the Bioware devs were like, "What the fuck? We didn't even know it was gonna be called that." Okay, I guess it's Anthem now. And same thing with here. The guys who worked on this game did not know this was gonna be the last expansion. So, and here they are finding out. Everybody else around it, like this is crazy to me.
I just think it's insane that this is only 9 years in the making. This game released in 2017.
Destiny 2, yes. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
just
count the one, that it's long.
for this case, I'm only counting Destiny 2 because like this was supposed to be a continuation of Destiny 1, and it was supposed to be an actual like full-fledged release and perfect game included with Destiny 1 content. And then what we ended up getting was not that at all. It was a direct sequel to one of the live expansions that they gave out in Destiny 1. And then it wasn't even like there wasn't even a lot of content that released with the game, but they had so many fans of the entire series as a whole that it just kept growing somehow. Destiny is one of those weird games that I enjoyed Destiny 1 for what it was. I enjoyed the fact that they not only had free content, but they also had their paid content that truly did enhance the experience every time it released. But Destiny 2 just felt like it was going to be a flop from the beginning, still somehow survives because of the community. And then now it's dying because they want to push a new franchise that may or may
Nobody
not
gives a shit.
work.
That nobody gives a shit about.
It's like you're reviving a dead franchise that was the birthplace of Halo because your company can no longer make Halo anymore. You need to make the the spiritual predecessor. I can't think of the name of it, but like the, the game that influenced Halo, your company wanted to get out of,
Right.
and now you're going back to it because somehow your financial success of a video game franchise, Destiny, isn't doing enough for you.
Which is crazy because, I'm pretty sure Destiny was still bringing in a lot of money for them. But like you say, so they're gonna kill Destiny so they can focus on Marathon, which by the way, if you look at the number, it's not doing well. Marathon's budget is somewhere between 200 and 250 million dollars, right? You know what is its number right now? The players on Steam? 10,000. That's not good. The peak was at 88,000 when it released. And over time, they've just been losing like 90% of the player base. Like, what the hell? So, and you're telling me you're gonna kill an entire franchise. By the way, I do have a problem with Destiny 2 for a lot of reasons. But at the same time, like this, as Destiny, like you said, has a long-standing loyal fan base, and you're just gonna, like tell them to fuck off out of nowhere, so you guys can focus on this new game that is not doing very well numbers wise. Like,
I think what bothers me the most is they're shutting down Destiny and then releasing. I know this is going to go into a different tangent here, but I hate companies that have the base game and then their ultra deluxe edition is like I'm looking at it right now. It's a premium voucher, Silk Rewards pass tokens, which I'm guessing is just in-game currency, and
yep.
then 6 cosmetics. Like I just hate that Call of Duty does this too with their live service with Warzone. You buy the new version of Call of Duty, and all of a sudden you can have the $90 version of the game, and all you get is the season one content for free, and it's just cosmetic shit. Like
I'm so
it's
fucking
just
glad you brought that up because yeah, let's talk about this live service games and their deluxe edition or premium edition. It is nothing but fucking cosmetic items for $30 more. What the shit? Like, if you guys are gonna sell me $100 fucking bundle, at least it fucking better come with a blow job and a rim job. But no, you're just giving me a mount. I'm looking at you, World of Warcraft. I'm looking at you, fucking dipshits. Like, you're already charging me $50 for an expansion, and you're telling me, hey, by the way, if you spend $40 more towards Bobby Kotick's gold yachts, you get this pretty mount, by the way, which is also a recolor of a previous existing mount. Go fuck yourselves. Give me something actual value, because this none of these fucking mounts. This, by the way, digital fucking codes. None of these are physical. None of these have actual fucking values. You're gonna charge me 40 fucking dollars for it. Go fuck yourselves. And they'll be also like, oh yeah, it comes with a month of subscription. Yeah, which is already $15, which included, it better be included in the shit.
just I don't know. I just think it's amazing that games have this cash cow that they can release one third of the game for $60 every 6 months as additional content, and people will buy it up like crazy, like World of Warcraft does once every couple of years. And they just decide to end it for a $40 extraction shooter.
That makes no sense to me.
It doesn't. Like, it just makes me wonder, like, who is the higher up that decided that this game was just not making money anymore and it wasn't worth the time, when in reality all they needed to do was put out one decent piece of content and the game's back alive. Like we said, World of Warcraft does that every 2 years. Like, whether the expansion is good or not, that game revives every time there's a fucking expansion that gets released.
Yeah,
Hell,
it's number will spike up and go back down because whether the expansion is good or bad, people stay or leave. So, like you said, every expansion releases, they will get this spike.
like like off our here the blind rankings list. Here's a perfect example. Fortnite. Every time that game is starting to die off and people don't care, guess what? Season 15 Deluxe Premium Turbo Edition comes out, and then all of a sudden they have brand new life. You see their commercials on TV again. All the marketing's out there, and then people are buying millions and millions of dollars worth of skins and stupid shit that nobody truly needs in that game.
Also, I
Like,
have a fucking pure problem with the Fortnite. How many fucking crossovers can you guys can do? What the fuck is even Fortnite anymore? Like Jesus fucking Christ! Like they're every time I see a Fortnite, I'm like, I am so confused about this game. Why is Hank Hill running around with guns, shooting John Wick?
you know what? Now you bring that up, we're gonna pause here for just a second. I'm gonna do this earlier than what we thought we were gonna do. We're going to do a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Furious Cabbage Productions. Whether it's content creation, video production, or bringing wild creative ideas to life, Furious Cabbage Productions is all about making projects stand out. If you're looking for creative media with personality and energy, check out Furious Cabbage Productions and support the people supporting this podcast. Now let's get back to the show. We're just going to go into a different topic here really quick. It's another one that you wrote out for us that I was actually excited to have an entire episode on, and we can make this a two-parter, three-parter, whatever this is, because you bring up a great fucking thing here, and that's what was it? Crossover events in video games. It personally, I do love them, but I do agree with you, and sometimes it's just fucking it's dumb. I
It
don't
makes
get
no
it.
sense.
Like a game like Fortnite, at this point, it is just cartoon shooter. I don't care about their crossover events. They're just skins. They're bullshit. They're stupid. Whatever. Let them do what they want to do. There's other games like Call of Duty where I'm running around as Snoop Dogg and Shaggy and Scooby Doo.
I mean, Snoop Dogg makes sense, but yeah, like you said, like Call of Duty with the Lilith from Diablo. How that fucking mess? Cody Rhodes and Rare Ripley in a Call of Duty?
Just like these crossover events make no sense. But again, it actually goes back to the live service things we were talking about earlier. It's just money. They'll keep doing this over and over again, and they're always dumb because like Call of Duty, for example, you said Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley. They not only have skins in the game, but when you buy their skins, you get cosmetics for your guns that are supposed to match their personality. And somehow those cosmetics are always tuned to the gun, so the guns are slightly better than everybody else's until
No
the
shit.
next drop when that gun gets nerfed. So the next one that they purchase has better stats than the guy behind or than the product before them.
No shit. I mean, yeah, they gotta give you a reason to, buy the thing so you have a, pay to win, fucking mechanics. Of course they do. Like, yeah, like you said, like it makes no sense, especially if you're gonna tie in, like a skins and whatnot to certain guns, then you're forced to only use those. And then it takes away, people's choices to, how they want to play the game, right? That's also another issue. That's a complete different fucking issue. Like you mentioned, like not every game I don't think deserves or needs crossover events. Because like Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, Rey Mysterio in Call of Duty makes no fucking sense. And at this point, Fortnite is fucking Fortnite. Yeah, you can have Dwayne, you can have Steve Austin, you can have Undertaker in it. Nobody bets a fucking eye. But at the same time, let's say if you play Minecraft, all of a sudden you dropped in, let's say, Warhammer guys out of nowhere. By the way, fucking Warhammer and Helldivers 2 crossover is coming.
Hold on to that thought for a second because you brought up Minecraft. I'm going to touch on that. I remember the Xbox 360 era where if you're playing Minecraft on PC, all you have to do is go to a website, download a skin, and put it on your game. But if you're playing on consoles, you can purchase
Oh
different
yeah,
skins for different crossover events. I remember on my 360, I purchased the Skyrim crossover with Minecraft, in which they did not have all of Skyrim on the map, but they did have the first dungeon you go into right after. Oh God, I can't remember the first city you go to.
Black Hollow was it? I
No,
know which one you're talking about. One in the
yeah,
mountain. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that first one you go into, that's in the game, and then your skins can be either like the Dragonborn or the basic skin from all of the ads that Skyrim had, the guy with the horned helmets. That was all a crossover event on Minecraft, which like on one hand, okay, whatever, who cares? But it was just such an unnecessary crossover at the time because they also had a Halo one in which it was just skins.
Okay. Speaking of which, Skyrim. The Skyrim on Switch edition also had the Legend of Zelda Link costumes and Master Sword. So I mean, I guess they needed an excuse to put a Skyrim on a Switch, like they actually needed a fucking excuse or something, and make you buy the same game for seventh time. So here you have a Master Sword and a Link's costume, which by the way you could have just gotten that on a PC for free with a mods, but yeah, here you are, another $60, please.
It's my favorite thing about those type of crossovers is that the communities around both those games then need to find an in-game lore reason as to why that exists.
Other than just oh yeah, here's a mod, here's a there's a crossover. It's like yeah, you need
Yeah.
to have a reason for that shit.
And it's always funny to me the links people will go through of just like with the Skyrim having the Master Sword in it. The reason that it happens is because Ganondorf in one of the timeline events in which he wins opens up a portal that spreads all of Link's belongings across different universes and erases
It's,
the existence of Link in general. So the Master Sword somehow ends up in the Elder Scrolls.
that is so okay, hilarious. But okay,
Also, it's
I
a
mean
good way to explain it, but it's also just like, okay,
unnecessary.
yeah, it's completely unnecessary. I
Even
think that
speaking of
on the Skyrim side, it would actually be introduced by the Daedra opening up a portal that accidentally meshed with Ganondorf's portal, which in a weird way,
yeah,
considering the way that like Age of Calamity produced, or the entire like Warriors version of Legend of Zelda.
I mean that
Weirdly
could work.
enough,
Yeah,
Ganondorf is like very much a Daedric prince in the
right.
Legend of Zelda universe.
Guys, I mean, the people who are listening to this, I don't want you guys all to think that we're only shitting on crossover because it's crossover. Because there are some good crossover events. Like I can give you examples of good crossover events. Like Final Fantasy 14 has very good crossover events with the other Final Fantasy series, or even Monster Hunter, and they give explanations in the game. They give you quests, like story quests, to explain why these crossovers are happening. You remember 15, right? The Noctis one. That's one of your
Uh,
favorites.
yeah, 15 is one of my favorites. I actually love their crossover event with Final Fantasy 14, the in-game version, because it's so random, it's so out of the blue, but it also has one of my favorite boss fights I've ever done in the game.
Yeah, and they had this. I'm pretty. If I remember correctly, they had crossover events in 15 and 14 separately. So if you play 15, you get those 14 characters in 15. And if you play 14, you get 15 characters in 14.
You
And
don't
the
get the
lore,
characters in 15, but you do get a lot of cosmetics that are very
yeah,
14 inspired.
in 14, we actually meet with the Noctis. We fight a event battle, and we get to use Noctis' ability for that fight, which is really fun. And the lore reason why everybody can run around with a car from the 15 is because Seed in 14 reverse engineered it and mass produced it. That's a great fucking, like explanation of why this shit is happening. Oh, Noctis came through a weird portal, which happens all the time in Final Fantasy World, and now we're trying to help him get back home. Oh, by the way, Noctis' car broke down. Who do we leave it with? Sid. What does Sid do? He reverse engineers it and then fucking mass produces it.
Speaking of crossover events, I just found one for. We'll get into a different topic a different day for gaming communities being terrible. But speaking of terrible communities, Rust has a Warhammer 40k pack. There's a bad excuse of a crossover event that
It makes
just
no
doesn't.
fucking sense. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I think survival horror games having any crossover events is just fucking weird.
It does, yeah. I mean, games like Dead by Daylight is already started as a horror crossover games, which makes sense. But if you are gonna play something like Rust or Ark, any like a survival horror games that manages, that you need to have a resource management and like a progression. Or why would you want to do crossover like a special event that completely derails that progression?
Trying to think of any other crossover ones that like I'm thinking of a positive one. And honestly, I think Helldivers and Halo crossover event was a really good idea because
In theory, yeah.
the ODST and the Marines by themselves actually very similar to the Halo or the
The
Helldivers
Helldivers,
universe.
yeah. Look, I think the Warhammer one has a potential. It just I don't think it should be anything Space Marine. If it was like Imperial Guards, it will make more sense. Speaking of which, by the way, Call of Duty also had Space Marine skins. Of course, it looks terrible because they try to shove Space Marine armor into regular sized humans, which looks weird scale wise.
You know what actually would have been a better universe to do a Warhammer crossover with? Gears of War.
Oh yeah,
Because
that would have been
those characters had the body shape for a Warhammer
right.
thing. It should have only been like an online multiplayer crossover thing. I hope it would never touch the campaign, but like that would have been a great series to do that in.
Even Resistance would have been cool if it was still around.
I pulled up lists here of some crossover gaming things that we could talk about for you, and I think there is one here that you would actually agree is a pretty good one: Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Oh, absolutely. The entire Marvel versus the there was a time period where Marvel was just doing a lot of verses. It's not just Capcom and Marvel. Capcom also did verses with Tatsunoko and SNK, which is great fucking idea. Yeah, these are great examples of like good crossovers. Those games are bangers. The characters mesh well, and like it's a fighting game. How much explanation do you really need?
I just also like the fact that Capcom characters are so out there and crazy that having them do a crossover event with Marvel superheroes is not out of the line.
No,
Like
not at all.
it
Yeah.
makes sense. It makes sense why Chris Redfield would be fighting Spider-Man and how the boulder punching asshole could stand up to one of the strongest Marvel superheroes.
Like it all started with Street Fighter cross, X Men. and then it all went out of from there. Like I think one of my favorite games of all time is Capcom versus SNK 2. It's just two giant entities in a fighting game, you know, just coming together and making this amazing dream match. And you don't need a lot of explanation. You just like, oh, the fighters from this franchise and fighters from this franchise, they're gonna find out who's the better fighter in a tournament. That's all you need.
I got two more examples for you. One of them's definitely a fighter. It's Street Fighter versus Tekken, which, in my opinion, is probably the greatest fighter crossover you could ever have, with two of the biggest fighter games series ever actually working together.
You're not wrong about that, except the game sucks.
It's because I think the game sucks because you're also having two completely distinct, different fighter control mechanics trying to work
No,
together in one,
it,
and that
it's not
that
dead.
didn't work.
It's not dead. I mean, they completely remade Tekken characters in 2D to work with the Street Fighter, control scheme. It's not the game. It's the what they did with the side system. They had a system called gems, which within in game it gives you buff. Guess what they were trying to do with that? They're trying to sell you better fucking gems with real money. That's why the game sucked.
So just because of microtransactions.
Yeah, and you can't play that game online, anymore, officially because they stopped supporting it long time ago, which pisses me off because I actually love that game. That game is a lot of fun. If
I
you
got
don't
another.
use any of the paid gems, it's great.
I got another one for you that is quite possibly one of the best crossover series to ever exist. I'm gonna give you two guesses on what it is.
Ooh, series.
Yeah,
I mean, we just talked about Capcom versus Marvel, so that can't be it.
this is not a fighter game.
This is not a fire game, so
Not a fighter. It's a crossover series that, in my opinion, is one of the greatest examples of how well it could work.
not Fortnite.
Not Fortnite.
Dead by Daylight.
Fortnite, in my opinion, is its own category of crossover.
I still don't know what fucking Fortnite is.
It's not Dead
Man,
by
maybe
Daylight. Dead by Daylight, I think, is also in its own category because it's gone in weird places by including like Resident Evil characters as survivors, even though they are clearly
they should
better
be
than the
monsters
killers.
themselves.
Yeah,
I can't think of. Yeah. Shoot. Ah,
you
lay it
ready
on
for
me.
the answer?
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god. I didn't even think about that.
Hands down, like regardless of what people thought about Kingdom Hearts 3, I still thought it was a great game. It was definitely missing crossover characters other than Disney characters. Um, but I thought that is definitely one of the best examples of how great a crossover video game truly can be.
You're not wrong. Yeah, just idea of Square Enix games characters and fucking Disney characters coming together. And when I first saw that as a child, I was like, "This is the dumbest fucking thing ever." And seeing how big it got blown up into, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, how? What? You're
Look,
telling me people want to see Goofy and Donald fighting in an RPG game with this, Final Fantasy looking ass, character?"
I mean, one of the biggest bosses, I think it was Kingdom Hearts 1. You have Goofy and Donald with Sora fighting Sephiroth.
Yeah, that was the big fucking thing.
Like it truly is like one of the greatest crossover games because it's an expansive story that honestly takes. I think the last time I tried to look up the full story, it was like a 4-hour YouTube video.
Fuck that.
It,
Ain't nobody got time.
every single game is canon. There is not a single event that is non-canon anymore because they just try to make it all work together. The games in general, like if you play through 1, 2, and 3, they tell a very good story. Of course, there's all this other side content you have to learn to make all of the stories make full sense, but it is just the perfect example of how a Disney character like Woody can interact with Cloud and somehow make it work.
Right. What a crazy idea. But I mean, yeah, I played only the handheld games, which a lot of them are terrible, and it was very edgy. I forgot which is 356 divided by 2 days or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was not good. But it still was like, like made me go like, wow, okay, like I can see why people like this idea.
I think
Just the
another here.
pure thoughts of you can play as Cloud and like you say, Woody in the same party and fighting Sephiroth is crazy.
Here's another one. It's completely different franchise. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Oh
Genuinely an
man,
amazing crossover.
that is okay. Okay, wait. Do we also count Smash Brothers as a crossover game then?
Oh, absolutely. I would count Smash Brothers as a
Oh, then there
crossover
you go.
game.
That's one of
Because
the better examples of a crossover game right there.
yeah, and it's also like I know you and I have talked about it in the past of like Smash Bros is a very divisive game because you either play it for fun or you play it competitively. It's one of the games that when you play it for fun and you just enjoy the characters on the screen, it is hilarious to watch Solid Snake fighting Mario, and then you have Pikachu in the background just stirring shit up, and Jigglypuff also fighting. Like none of it makes any sense, but it's just a fucking blast to play.
It's yeah, and they actually had a lot of time dedicated to like a story mode, so you can actually see where all these characters like come together.
Yeah,
I think
it's just the story. It's so weird how simple their story is too. Of just we created portals. The master hand created a portal and brought this one into the universe. That's the only explanation you get. Kill the
that's all you
master hand.
need, because the story is literally Master Hand is you, and you're playing with a bunch of toys, and you bought different toys. That's the like the analogy they're giving it to you, and you just say Master Hand opened up a portal, got all these characters in one place, and now they're fighting.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up another example of another one that I'm like, this is actually not a bad idea for crossover events, which also was exclusive crossovers. I'm giving you, it's another fighter game. Go ahead and make a guess.
Is it entire game based on crossover or just the crossover character?
Crossover characters are
Oh
included in the
man,
game, and the exclusive crossover characters.
Soul Calibur.
It is Soul Calibur, is what I was talking about.
Dude, Soul Calibur has some weird. Oh, it's not as weird anymore, but at the time, when Yoda was Xbox 360 exclusive and
Darth,
Vader was
yeah,
PS3
that
exclusive.
was the one I immediately went to. And then when GameCube owners got it, Link from Legend of Zelda was on that one.
That was a different Soul Calibur game.
It was still, I'm just thinking Soul Calibur as a whole.
Yes,
Like
I mean
everyone
you had Spawn on Xbox.
was it. I'm reading off their list. They had Gerald from the Witcher series. They had Ezio.
They
Um,
got 2B from Near Automata in the later ones as well.
they had Mishima from Tekken on here.
Yeah, Heihachi was in PS2. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. They had some insane crossovers, and like a game like that when you're playing as a character that generally uses a weapon, Soul Calibur was a perfect game for those type of events.
And a lot of times, like we just talked about it, you don't need a lot of explanation other than, oh, they got sucked in a portal. That's all you need. That's literally what happens here. Let's go. Oh, they went through a portal, or they got sucked into vortex. Here you are. Go find your way back home.
Okay, we got to
Okay,
finish
how
this
about
out
this? How
here.
about this? Before
We're
you go,
no,
Tekken
no. I was okay. Say your thing. Sorry.
with Akuma is okay. Tekken 7 has one of the worst crossover characters in my opinion because it has Akuma, Geese, Noctis, Negan. Yes, Negan from Walking Dead is in it. Negan is the most fitting one out of all of them because he does not break the game. Other characters breaks the game so much it's no longer Tekken. The other characters that I just give have a fucking special meters, and they don't play like Tekken characters. They can jump around and do all these crazy low combos and juggles. It does not feel like fucking Tekken, and everybody plays those characters in tournaments. So yeah, there you go. There's a terrible fucking crossover characters.
Okay.
So go ahead,
Before we exit this, I have one question for you, and this one is one I just kind of thought of during this crossover you want to see in gaming.
Oh, crossover do I want to see in gaming? Any genres or
Any genre, anything whatsoever. If you wanted to be a fighter, go ahead and say that one. RPG, a shooter series, Call of Duty and Fortnite would be a hilarious one because it's the same fucking game at
it's
this
the
point.
same shit. Uh, damn. I want to see the like a return of the crossover fighting games again, like a Capcom and SNK making another game. That'd be great. But maybe the one I want to see the most is uh, all of Final Fantasy in one game. And I'm talking about like a Final Fantasy World kind of deal, but like actual characters being there and have like an open world, like a Final
All
Fantasy game.
all of the main characters.
Yeah,
You know what? That'd be an interesting concept if you could do it like an old school fighter where like every character has their own like 2 or 3 hour story and you have to go through every single main character's story to finally unlock the true ending story.
yeah. I mean, Dissidia tried to do that, right? Because you had
Yeah.
a main character and a main villain. But yeah, like something like open world Final Fantasy game, open world RPG where you just run around and meeting it goes to different Final Fantasy world and do like a story from each of them. They'll be great.
Yeah, here's mine. Hear me out. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Pokemon and Pal World.
Fuck you.
Listen, you know that would be one hell of a game.
Fuck you.
Fucking Blastoise getting chopped down by some flying thing with an M60 machine gun.
That's okay. How about this? Hello Kitty Adventure Island crossover with what was the fuck?
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing right there.
You
Yeah.
might as
I
well, man. It's the same exact game. It's just like this Tamagotchi life is the same fucking game as Animal Crossing.
I mean, it's a slice of life game that you just having a life on an island.
Like it's cool. It's there's enough differences between Power World and Pokemon that I'd actually just love to see at real Pokemon in a hardcore version of it, like Power World.
And man, that will never happen. But yeah, it will be fucking hilarious.
It'd be hilarious. I guarantee it'd be one of the better Pokemon games to ever come out.
And I still think Pokemon has too many hands on it. I
Oh
think
yeah.
Pokemon Company needs to stop getting involved in game development, and they just need to focus on the multimedia and let the game freaks make whatever game they want to make.
I mean, they have two studios making Pokemon games, and then they also have their card games on top of it, plus all their anime properties. Like You're right. There's too many people making decisions for Pokemon to actually put out anything good. And ever since they made the switch to 3D, it's just been a slow downhill process of Pokemon games.
Yeah. It just has not, in my opinion, has not had the same impact as the original 2Ds.
Yeah, 2D sprites. When they did the merger of like 2D sprites with 3D battles, I think that was possibly the best it was going to get for that type of game. But when everything was 3D, it just kind of went downhill, in my opinion.
And I worked on Sword and Shield. Like I thought it had a good concept. The open world area where you're running into Pokemon to, like do battles and raid fights and all that. It was a cool concept. It just executed so poorly. And also having Switch as your, like system, hardware, like being so limited by it, like, it didn't help them out at all.
Yeah, no, I think that's honestly what hurts them the most is like when you make the 2D versions, you can make those 20 to 30-hour experiences that Pokemon used to be. And on Switch, you can only do so much because you're trying to use its hardware to its fullest capabilities. And that's just not going to work for a game like Pokemon.
No, not at all. Yeah, they need to go back to having that more, like you say, the content, like in-depth contents. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's the 2D sprites, that how cute it looked, also helped people, like getting into it easier as well.
Yeah, there was like a natural progression for it too. It was like evolutions. They look cute, but then when you kind of get tired of it, you start to level up to that next evolution of the Pokemon. Now you're like, oh well, I got to see, is there something next? Oh, I just found new Pokemon. Okay, now I got to see what the next version of this one is. And then like even like today, as we're growing up, you're in your 30s. I'm getting to my 30s this year. It's cool to see it go from like cute to serious throughout the progression of the story of the entire Pokemon game, and it doesn't have that same feel in the 3D world that it did in 2D.
It just lacks the, I guess, like charm. The
Yeah,
polygons does not look as, like a cutesy or like a likable as the 2D sprites were.
yeah. But like Cyndaquil was my favorite Pokemon ever. Um, 3D Cyndaquil looks like a weird worm with arms, and I don't like it. It weirds me out.
Yeah.
On that
It
note,
does, yeah, yeah. Go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, let
Finish.
you end
No,
it.
finish your
No,
statement.
okay. I'm just gonna, the 3D combat also looks really weird. In 2D, it makes sense for them to just kind of like a flap around and the move comes out. But in 3D, why would you just jump around in the same place all of a sudden the move comes out? It makes no sense.
You know, now that you mention that, like they've never been able to hit that 3D fight feel that Pokemon Stadium used to do.
Right?
That was the closest we ever got to like a good 3D fight because it was such a mix of what the 2D style was with a few extra animations. And 3D just hasn't hit that whatsoever.
Not at all. It just feels really lackluster.
All right, on that note, that's going to do it for today's episode of Talking Bitch. Thanks for listening, and remember, no matter how bad your teammates are, they aren't the guy throwing stratagems at you in Helldivers, Drake.
Remember, guys, 1 out of 5 guys are retarded in your team. It ain't me.
Well, I'm going to have to edit that one out. We'll catch
We
you in
can
the
say
next
that now.
episode.
It's okay to say those words now.
We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.